Animals grazing living plants are a part of the carbon cycle. Here in the northern plains, our soils were formed by large herds of bison and elk being moved by predators, grazing a landscape, trampling that carbon, the plants onto the soil surface, not coming back for maybe a year, allowing full recovery.
It wasn't that long ago that over 60 million buffalo roamed the continent. And the people who lived here for millennia knew exactly how to coexist with those animals.
Wambli na ta'u, Omachiape, Oglala Lakota, Ocheti Shakawe. My name is Charging Eagle of the Oglala Lakota of the Seven Council Fires. There was this story of Creator Takashila telling our people to follow the buffalo, and the buffalo will show you where your lands are. This whole area, this whole region belonged to our people, the Lakota, Dakota, Nakota Nation. My ancestors, they lived in a period of time when everything came from nature. You can actually drink from the rivers, eat what was caught in the rivers, gather berries. Everything was a part of this bigger circle. And the buffalo meant the world. The buffalo meant everything to us. We became the buffalo. We were known as the Buffalo Nation. We didn't see ourselves as above animals or below animals. We were just right there with them. And they took care of us. We became a part of that bigger system.
In an attempt to starve the Native Americans, the U.S. military and the railroads killed most of the buffalo. By the time the culling ended, only a few thousand of the majestic animals remained.
When you become a part of what I call the accumulation culture, when you live in that culture, you're going to lose track of what it means to be a part of something else. Because when you start to accumulate, you tend to forget what is important and you become separate. The more you become separate, the unhappier you're going to become because you're going to want more and more and more. Accumulation is like an addiction. It's part of this illness, this addiction that prevents us from being sustainable with nature. I mean, being thankful for this earth, for this piece of ground that we have. We have to look at all of these things, the global warming, the loss of drinking water, all of these negative things happening, the violence, the war. All of that is all rooted in that accumulation cultural mindset. We have to be able to let some of that go now. We have to say, okay, we've done enough. Enough's enough. That's where we're at right now, and it can be done.
I was raised in a rural area in Washington, adopted by a Lakota elder. We were out in nature every day. I found permaculture, and that was very influential in my life, where I could see that there could be a permanent agriculture, an agriculture that not only fed the planet, but also fed the people in a way that regenerated and didn't deplete resources.
Holistic ranchers like the market guards use careful
Cows
planning
can be good.
so their cows sequester carbon
That is one of the
and
most
actually regenerate
controversial
the land.
statements of mankind at this point. Using cattle and allowing them to roam and graze, land grazing, can literally revive enough space to create a tremendous amount of drawdown. I'm from Southeast Louisiana. I grew up in an incredibly delicate ecosystem. Conservation was always a very serious part of my life. I had no idea that the Earth was desertified. I got on a plane from New York City to fly to Zimbabwe to meet Alan Savory, so he could show us the difference between desertification and regeneration. Land that has been holistically managed through planned grazing using cattle, the most vilified animal in the world.
We are in Africa right now, driving through a field that has been under Alan Savory's holistic management for 9 years. And it is in Eden. This is what you call high grass.
Using livestock to reverse desertification is totally scalable to about 2/3 of the world's land. And nothing else is. And frankly, that can be done at extremely low cost.
Here we are. This is what it should be like. You've been working on this land for 8 or 9 years. It went from a place of turning into a total desert and using hooved, herding herbivores. You have literally transformed that, what we've been seeing, into this. How in the hell do you make this happen?
So the dung, the urine, and the hooves of the animals are what cause this grass to grow. That livestock is never on more than a hectare of this land, about 2.5 acres, never more than 3 days.
Right.
And they're never back on that piece of land under about 6 to 9 months.
Wow.
So no plant can get overgrazed. You can come any day of the year, anywhere on this land, and you will see no livestock, because they will be on less than 1 hectare of land. Unless we take you there, you won't even know it.
Dealing with this beast of climate change, a lot of people don't understand that this helps climate change. This sequesters carbon. This takes the one thing that we so desperately need out of the air, and it holds it, and it makes oxygen.
Yeah, if we can produce solid grassland, you can pull down enormous amounts of carbon back into the soil. 2/3 of the world, roughly, is grasslands and savannas where the rainfall is too low to support a solid canopy of trees giving you soil cover. So grass is essentially what has to stabilize that soil.
You look at this and you realize this is what the world should look like. This is what Africa should look like. This is what South and Central America should look like. This is what Texas should look like.
This is how we win. We can get the Earth back to the Garden of Eden that it once was by regeneration.
When used smartly, herbivores can pull down carbon and reverse desertification. But it doesn't just work for Africa. It works everywhere in the world.
The form of agriculture that we use creates billions of lives in the form of soil microbes, in nematodes, in grassland birds. All of that wildlife is flourishing under an agriculture system versus a tilled crop field, which is denuded of life.
The odds are there are some things that you can do to save our soils today.
This is everybody's life every hour of the day almost, food waste.
Yeah.